So let me tell you about this picture. This picture was taken in the bowels of the sheriff's department in Placer. In order to get to where I took this picture, you had to go into the front doors. That gets into this little secure zone. There's a couple windows that have the bulletproof glass, and there's a security door. You got to talk to one of the little gals behind the glass and have them buzz you through the security door. Then you go through the security door. Most people don't get that far. There's a bunch of people out there in that little bullpen area waiting for, I don't know what they were waiting for. But once you get through that security door, you're in a little atrium. On the right side, there's a counter for the coroner, and on the left side, there's a counter for civil. And civil's where you go if you want the sheriff to serve somebody or to, I don't know, mainly serve people, I guess. Anyway, that's what I was there for. So anyway, I went to that civil desk and I was talking to the gal behind the civil desk, and, we were doing our business. And I noticed this. It was kind of up on the wall to the right, back behind the desk, kind of around a corner a little bit. And I love old things. I love old writings. And I couldn't really see it, but I wanted to read it. This is about how I could see it. It was pretty hard to see. Oh, you can see me? Oh, there's her. She's wearing like a pinkish shirt. And there's me taking the picture. There's the desk right there. It was on my right side. It looks like it's on my left side in the picture, but it was on my right side. So you get an idea of where this was. So I asked her, real nice, if I'm like, hey, that's really cool. And I was asking her about it. And she's like, oh, yeah, it's this and that. And I'm like, if I give you my cell phone, would you be kind enough to take a picture of it for me? Because I would love to have a picture of it. And she looked over at, there was a guy sitting at a desk. And she said, hey, Sarge, do you mind if this fella comes back around behind here and takes a picture? Well, Sarge looked at me and shrugged. I don't care. And so she went over and she opened up the doors, one of those security doors. And I popped around back there and I took this picture, said thank you very much, finished up my business with her, and I took off out of there. So I took this picture where the public should never be. So how does that make you feel, auditors who get kicked out of the places where the public is allowed to be? How does that make you feel? I filmed where you couldn't have even dreamed of filming. But this is still pretty cool. This is a letter written to the Sheriff of Placer County by E.L. Dooley, Esquire. On December 15th of 1891, Dear Sir, please find enclosed subpoena for a Chinese woman about 22 years old and very fleshy. I think that means she was fat. Said to have gone to Michigan Bluff about 3 or 4 months ago. If you could find her, serve the subpoena on her, and return the subpoena to me. I think this means and. If you can't find her, maybe it's not. Maybe that's a her or something. I don't know. If you can't find her, then return the subpoena to me anyway and oblige yourself. I don't know what that means. And then he signed it. And these are just the little placard-y things, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. This is less cool. All right, so this fellow is at a municipal court. The story is that he was beating this ticket, and his wife was arrested because she was filming in court after he beat the ticket, and the court staff, not the judge, not the prosecutor, but the bailiffs were so upset that this guy beat his jaywalking ticket that they arrested his wife for filming in court. And it's a clear violation. He did correct it. It's the Sixth Amendment. Okay. And what's really sad is this fine fella here, this dashing specimen of a man, used to watch my videos, or at least he used to comment on them. And it sort of makes me sad that all this time he still doesn't know a goddamn thing about filming in a courtroom. He doesn't remember Estes v. Texas. This is Estes v. Texas. Estes v. Texas said that the purpose of a court is to give due process. It's to guarantee that justice is done, or at least to give the best chance in the world of justice. It's not to be a media circus. It's not for people to be filming and carrying on. And in fact, if filming doesn't allow for due process, then you can't film. Chandler rolled it back a little bit. It said that states can allow filming as long as they have real clear guidelines that will protect the due process rights of people and the administration of justice. They can allow it. They may allow it. In other words, it's not that they may restrict it, it's that they may allow it. The default is you can't film. Now, of course, a state can change that to be where they allow filming. But Ohio doesn't. Ohio allows for filming in the court. Not in the courthouse, but for filming in the court. And when are you allowed to film in the court? Well, if the judge allows it. You have to get the permission of the judge. And nothing in Rule 12 allows you to film, videotape, or record, or take any photographs of victims or witnesses who object. And it doesn't allow... No part of Rule 12 gives authority for media coverage where it is otherwise limited or prohibited by law. And when the court is in session, media representatives are not permitted to either transmit or record anything from the courtroom other than the court proceedings. So there's nothing that says that they can film in the courthouse. Now, let's step back into reality. Number one, the bailiffs don't give two shits about whether this handsome young man is found guilty or acquitted of jaywalking. Nobody cares about jaywalking. I am certain this fine fella, this witty and bright lad, did not beat the jaywalking case on his skill with the law, his understanding of the law, his oratory ability, his logic. No. Something else happened. If he was in fact acquitted, or if the case was dismissed, I am positive it was for reasons other than his doing. I am also positive that nobody gave any concern to his wife because of the case being dropped or dismissed or him being acquitted. I am positive that his wife garnered the attention she did because of her actions, probably other than filming. but maybe filming. Had she gone through the proper channels and asked the judge to film? He shall permit it. He shall permit it, as provided by Ohio law. But request for permission shall be in writing, and the written order of the judge shall be made a part of the record of the proceedings. Did she have permission? I guarantee she didn't. Was she being discreet? Was she being respectful? I guarantee she wasn't. Was she asked kindly and politely to stop? I guarantee you she was. Did she refuse? Well, seeing the general state of these fine folk in the when their kids' rented furniture was being repossessed from their mobile home, I'm pretty sure they got loud. I would, dare I say, bet a shiny brand new nickel that she got loud. Now, she was arrested. What would she have been arrested for? She would have probably been arrested for contempt of court. Oh yeah. Speaking of being arrested for contempt of court, Estes v. Texas deals specifically with the right to a public trial. The right to a public trial is to ensure the accused is fairly dealt with and not unjustly condemned. And because of that, in fact, because of the Sixth Amendment, they said, no, you can't film. The purpose of a public trial is to ensure a fair trial, not a media circus. The freedom granted to the press under the First Amendment must be subject to the maintenance of absolute fairness in the judicial process. The public's right to be informed about court proceedings is satisfied if reporters are free to attend, not film, attend and report on the proceedings through their respective media. That means like take notes, draw pictures. I know you want it to be, but this doesn't have anything to do with actually filming. By the way, recordings of courtroom proceedings, whenever they talk about recordings of courtroom proceedings, they're generally referring to the transcript, the audio record, the court's record. See how they're talking about a certified court reporter? So Rule 21, recordings of court proceedings, that just means that they're creating a transcript. They have an audio recording of it. It doesn't mean that they're talking about you filming. Transcription of original recordings shall not be permitted without a court approval. Ooh. That's for transcripts of recordings. That's not for recording itself. So it's Rule 12 that you want to look at. But yeah, so the difference is if you don't ask and you're obnoxious, the court doesn't have to let you film in the court. Now he says, one other thing is he says that she had left the court and it was her filming in the court house, not the courtroom, that got her popped. But you'll notice he is filming in the courthouse and nobody's paying him any attention. Literally no one's paying him any attention for a few minutes. At least 2 minutes until he walks outside? No one cared. I would hazard a guess that she was filming in the court and she walked out of the court while the judge was talking to her. I would hazard a guess. If she was actually arrested outside of the court room in the courthouse, I would hazard a guess it is yeah. Anyway, you don't do that. And so if it is contempt, then If it's criminal contempt, if it is for being disrespectful to the court and breaking court rules, then she's already been tried. She's already been convicted. She's serving her time. I don't know if she got released that day. I mean, the judge could just sentence her like 6 hours or whatever for contempt if he wanted to. Maybe he'd give her a day or two or something just to let her think about what she's doing. I'd have to actually look up the rules on contempt for Ohio, and I don't really care that much. It's silly. But anyway, that's what you get if you don't do it right. This is what you get if you do it right. You're welcome, kids. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.